Hello, hello. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn. It is Larissa. I am here with a new topic every week. I am here on Wednesdays at noon, where I explore topics each and every week to elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And today I'm talking about something a little bit different. And I'm talking about how you can empower your children to make their dreams come true. And I'm going to share 3 simple steps for how you can do that. So, do you want the best for your children? Do you want to have them grow up and show up with confidence, show up with enthusiasm no matter what they do? Do you want them to say, like, I can do anything and just be a total rock star and fully believe it as they watch their dreams unfold before their eyes? Of course you do. That's why you're here. And that's what today is all about. I know some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larissa McCooch. I am a master results coach and CEO of Abundance Academy, where we help professional women whose external results tell the world they're successful, but on the inside, they know they're destined for more. We help them fill their gaps and have a rich and fulfilling life where they're actually living their life on purpose and really going after their dreams, which is huge. So I want to know where you're coming in from. If you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. And if this is your first time here, type in first time in the chat. And I want to thank you for being here. I truly do appreciate you and your presence. So I want to just start with a little story before we dive into our content. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't really know how to dream. And I was really uncomfortable with it. You might be like, every kid knows how to dream. I really didn't have a clue of what I was doing. I remember one day I was laying on the grass and there I was looking up at the sky. I'm looking up at the clouds. I'm from Saskatchewan, so we just had these beautiful clouds and they were majestic. It's beautiful blue sky, beautiful white fluffy clouds. And there I was trying to daydream. And I was wondering why nothing was coming up. I'm like, I'm supposed to look at the clouds and daydream. And the harder I worked and the harder I tried, the less these dreams started to even come to me. And I remember I was a very hard worker. I accomplished a lot of things. Whatever I set my mind to, I usually got. But anything that was remotely appealing to me was really quickly dismissed because it was too expensive, too scary, too cool for me, whatever. There was always a reason why it wasn't for me. And maybe what if I messed up or didn't know how to do something? So cancel all of these things because it doesn't have to be that way. And it was that way for a long time. Now, my mother, she always told me I could do whatever I wanted, and she fully supported me. Yet, whenever she said this, it made me really uncomfortable because I kept coming up blank and I didn't really think I had it in me until all that changed. Now, flash forward to adulthood. When I found out I was pregnant with my son, my husband and I, we had a chat and we realized that there were some really important things that we wanted to teach our son. And we were really motivated to do this because these are things that we learned in peak performance coaching and elite trainings that we attended all over the world with masters of their field, but not things that were natural to us, not things that we had ever learned in childhood. They're things that we had to practice as adults and we got better at them. And some of these concepts were simple, yet we knew the profound impact they could have on a child's future. We saw other colleagues with kids who had instilled some of these habits in them. And we met people who were trained in many of these things as children, and their lives had a different course. They had a different attitude. They had a different sense of possibilities. And when kids are young, their memories, their habits, their paradigms, their belief system is imprinted in the brain. And I know if I was motivated to do this for my kid, I know you are too, because this is stuff that you want to be aware of as parents. And I promise I will share a little more about that in just a bit. So my son is now 5 years old. And he just held his 5th birthday party over the weekend. And what was really, really cool about that is my husband and I, we applied a lot of these tools that we wanted to teach my son, and we involved him in the party planning process. My son actually planned most of the party himself. He definitely had us help him, especially with some of the logistics. However, he not only had an experience, like a beautiful experience at the party, he had an incredible time leading up to the party. He had a great time at the event, and even though it's been almost a week, he is still basking in the glory of his 5th birthday party because he had a dream and he built that dream and he kept evolving that dream. And together, the three of us helped him make his dream come true. And that was just such a beautiful blessing. And my husband and I were just so full of joy about this experience because we we were able to help him do this. So what did my son do? My son helped with the planning of the location, the theme. It was a dinosaur theme, very important for 5-year-olds. The guest list, the menu, the games, the decorations. He decided on the cake. He did his own Amazon purchases. So I would type in the search and we looked at it together and he learned how to put his name as the checkout and the receiver. He opened his own packages, also very important for 5-year-olds. Love Amazon packages. He handed out some of the invitations. He assembled his own loot bags. We decided to have music. He greeted guests, thanked the guests while they were for the presents that they gave. He said goodbye to them. He really acted as a host and made sure all his friends were consistently included in the party. After the party, we sent some thank you voice notes to people. Like we really made it a point of having him involved. I also know the power of modeling. And so a couple things that I wanted to really do is create an experiential experience for the kids, for the parents, and I wanted to see my son have that play out, whether he's consciously aware of it or not. He's not consciously aware of it. But I made a point of having some activities prepared with a loose plan, and I gauged the energy of the group. And there were times where things were starting to dip and we would bring in an appropriate activity, and we kept a flow, right, a give and take with structured and activity and independent play. So we had great food. We really encouraged conversation with and among guests. And we even let some of the guests, like a lot of times, guests want to help. Whoa, can I help you prep some of this food? Can I help you with cleanup? And often in the past, I might have said, no, 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 I've got it, because you don't want to be a bother. But people want to help. They don't offer if they don't want to do something. And so we really allowed the guests to take part as well. So, why am I sharing all this with you? Because children are our future. And as parents, we want the absolute best for them. And if you had a great example set for you as a kid to carry on to your own children, fantastic. I hope you do. You might get some good ideas from this talk and maybe some inspiration in your parenting style. But if you didn't have that example, I want you to realize that you have the most incredible opportunity to do things differently and change the narrative of your life, of your family's life for generations to come. Because you can totally equip your kids with the tools that they need to bring their dreams into reality. So ask yourself, are you ready to add some phenomenal tools to your parenting tool belt to empower your kids to make their dreams come true? Do you want to hear your kids just speaking up with more confidence and clarity and conviction than they ever have before? And do you want to see your kids grow up to be the best that they can be and live a truly incredible, rich, and fulfilling life? Okay, that's what today is all about. So let's get into it and just listen up as we take a look at what you need to do and what you need to know about empowering your kids to make their dreams come true. So the word empowering, it means to give someone the authority or power to do something, to make them stronger, to make them more confident in controlling their own life and claiming their rights. Like, we all want our kids to be confident, don't we? And when you're empowered, you hold your head up versus this, like empowered, you hold your head up. You can say yes or no really quickly without hesitation. You hold an element of that power to make a change. And literally, empowering means to put in or to cause from its Latin roots. And when you do empower your children, you're guiding them to really feel and believe that they are so powerful now. And you help them create these optimum conditions that mirror back these concepts. So I want you to just think of this idea of an acorn. Okay. An acorn is just a seed, it holds so much potential because it can turn into an oak tree. However, until it's planted, watered, and nurtured and allowed to grow, it's not going to do that. And it's the same thing with kids. Kids, when they're young and they're in their most raw form, they're like that acorn with so much potential that when they're nurtured and empowered, you can help them grow into this big, booming, strong, tall oak tree. Now, we have two parts to our mind, the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. And our conscious mind is the part of our mind that's very logical, that we learn how to use in school. It's very important and it knows how to accept or reject things. Okay. So when you know something's not right, you can say, no, this isn't right. I'm not going to do it. Or I'm going to decide not to do that. It's like the decision making muscle, the conscious decision making muscle. The unconscious mind, on the other hand, it must accept everything. And kids prior to 7 years, they don't really have a filter between their conscious and unconscious mind. So everything literally just goes in. They're in a state of trance and things are imprinted in there and they're going to stay there for life. Now, kids imprint, their minds are imprinted by the experiences they have, the things they're told by friends, teachers, parents, caregivers, in the news, the things they see around them. And they don't have that ability to differentiate whether it's right or wrong, appropriate or not. We do our best as parents to gradually teach them at a certain point when they're able to comprehend. However, it's not a natural skill set and it's not part of their conditioning and wiring at that time. So they like really when it comes down to it, actions do speak louder than words. So when you learn how to behave, right? At this point, when kids are 7 years of age and prior, this is when they make a lot of decisions that are going to come with them and carry forward to the rest of their life about how to behave, about how to relate to time, have certain habits, how much money they'll earn, their self-worth, abilities that like their personal abilities, and so much more. And you may have had some conditioning, right? Maybe you in your past had some faulty or poor conditioning from this age and you carry that forward. Don't feel bad because the good news is you can change that. Okay. So if this happened to you, newsflash, it probably happened to you too, just like it's happening to your kids. However, if you feel like you've carried something forward, it is possible to change that. So maybe you might see yourself getting in a series of toxic relationship or trying to find work that's meaningful to you, but you keep making these lateral sideways shifts and you don't really get ahead. And so if you want to discuss how you can change your wiring and programming from decisions you've made way, way, way long ago that are out of your conscious awareness, we can have a chat. Just send me a message, send me a DM. That's not what today is about, but I just want to really bring this to your awareness because there is a point where you make that first decision. Again, likely out of your awareness in childhood. And when it comes to kids, it's really important to be aware of this because that's when they're making some of their decisions. And so we want our interactions with our kids and what we share with them and expose them to be as clean and pure and holistic and wholesome and empowering as possible. And if you have kids that are older and you've missed this point, don't feel bad because you're learning this now. So I want you to be really, truly grateful about this. Kids are way smarter than you think they are, and they're capable of so much more than we as parents often give them credit for. A few years back, I remember I was at a seminar and I pulled a few books. I love books. So I was at a seminar and there was a book that was written by a 15-year-old girl, and she was actually the daughter of the speaker at the seminar. Okay. So it was Raymond Aaron's seminar, and he pulled out a book by Emma Aaron. Okay. It was Success. And she wrote this book when she was 15 to empower her friends to have a brighter future. And some of the strategies that he told me about, that he was speaking about, that he would bring to her, were about teaching her language and teaching her elevated ways of thinking and really beautiful ways of asking empowering questions. And I thought that was so pivotal, because that was one of the first times I really thought about, how do we really treat our kids? I'd been teaching for years, but this was pivotal. I was pregnant. I was 6 months pregnant when I went to this. And I thought it was just a very different way of looking at my parenting style. Another pivotal book that I found was The Day I Met Bob. And this is by Destin Gregory, and he wrote it with his dad. And he was 5 years old when he first met Bob Proctor, and he learned about goals. So his dad studied with Bob Proctor, as I did, and he would play Bob Proctor recordings for him. And so Destin started setting and achieving goals at a young age. Okay, they weren't like, let me earn $100,000 or $200,000 a year, but they were about his grades. They were about things that were relevant to him as a kid. And he really built that decision-making muscle. And I thought it was really beautiful to see that example of a parent introducing this kind of sophisticated concept to young kids. So what did I do? I started driving in the car, listening to Bob Proctor with my son. My son doesn't, when he's with my husband, he'll do music. When he's with me, he's like, nope, turn the music off. I'm like, can we listen to Bob? He's like, yeah, okay. Bob is one of the only things that we can listen to in the car. And I think that's just a beautiful example. A third book that I found really powerful that demonstrates the power of kids is Don't Tell Me I Can't by Cole Summers. And he wrote this when he was 14, and it's his autobiography, Adventures of a Homeschooler. And when I picked this book up, he basically homeschooled himself. He had a very fascinating background. But he starts with online and books and schools and in the news. My generation is constantly being told that our future sucks. And it is. People are being told that. It doesn't matter if it's climate change, weather scarcity, food shortages, or other threats. The message is always the same, that where we live may not stay livable, or even worse, we're constantly told we can't do anything about it. And people have told him, he's just a kid. That's a silly idea. These are impossible things that kids can do. And he's decided to prove them wrong. The first time he was told he couldn't have a garden, he was 5 years old, and he said, oh, I'm not going to help you guys garden. I'm going to go make my own garden. And he went out and did that. And it led him to buying a farm, to creating a business where he sold rabbits to restaurants in California, where he was working on a project to help save an aquifer in their desert area, so that farms didn't have to shut down. And he was really, really innovative in his thinking and did things that most children deem impossible. And he was very fueled by this idea that, I'm going to show people that kids really are capable of so much more. And so everyone's got their own story. Everyone's got their own journey. One of the big things that is really important is asking a powerful question. And this is a powerful question that I use with myself and many clients. And it's like, how can I? Because asking good questions leads to good answers. And when you look at the elements and these core elements of what's really involved in empowering children that I've observed over the last 25 years working with them, and really actively studied over these past 5.5, 6 years, this has been a game changer for me. So I boiled it down to 3 simple things. So step 1, one of the biggest ways that you can help empower your kids and make their dreams come true is encourage them. Encourage. So let them know that they can have a dream and they can go after them. Don't just tell them, actually show them. There's a teaching tool that I learned working in school boards. It's called Tell, Show, Do. So you talk about it and you tell the kids, you explain it, You demonstrate it for them, and then you do it with them. And that really brings a holistic experience because not all kids learn the same way. So you tell, you show, you do, and then you recap. So involve your kids, encourage them, and demonstrate for them. Let them know when they're doing a great job and they are on the right track. You want to keep lifting them up and keep focusing on what is working. When they fall, right? Don't say they're bad. Let them know what they could do more of and teach them to accept feedback because the fact is we will all fall. When they fall and they scrape their knee, we want them to get back up because we don't want them to stay down on the ground. Because we want them to get back up and get going and realize that sometimes we do fall and things don't work out the way we had planned. However, they might work out the next time, or we might have to change our course of direction. And when kids get really used to getting feedback, they learn to accept it and they just start taking the feedback, applying it, and moving on instead of feeling bad for getting feedback and thinking they're doing something incorrectly. So the words like tell them what they're doing really well and make sure you tell them a lot of things they're doing really well and give them a couple things that they could do more of. Okay, not wrong. Listen to the words more of. What can they do more of? So that's encourage, really encourage them to go after their dreams, show them how to do it, and let them know when they are succeeding and on the right track. Step 2 is equip. Okay, so equip your kids with the tools they need to succeed or help them find them. You want to give them choices and let them make decisions. Um, there for my son's party, we allowed him to decide the theme. Cool. He wanted dinosaurs. We talked about a cake and he said, I do want a cake. And last year we didn't get him the kind of cake he wanted. So this year I said he could get any cake he wanted and he wanted a dinosaur cake. He picked it out online. And we got that particular cake. Sometimes if your kids want something that may be out of your means or out of your skill set to do, instead of saying, "Oh, we can't do that. I don't know how. I don't have the money." Never ever ever say that. You never ever want to say that because that's going to shut them down. However, if it's their dream and they want it, who are you to knock their dreams? So help them find the money, help them go earn the money, encourage them to look for another solution, to use this as a learning opportunity. It could stretch you as well. Maybe encourage them to go ask for help and find someone that may have the resource that they're looking for or the ability to do what they're looking for help with. So this really does teach responsibility and it does put them in an empowering position because it doesn't mean they can't have it. They just may not get it yet. They may not get it in this particular point in time, or they may not get it the way they had originally anticipated. They may have to, you guys may all have to put your creativity hats on and move forward. And this is also a beautiful way to look at maybe how to do this thing or how to make this reality come to fruition in a different way. How else can you do it? Maybe instead of something physical, you can express it through a game or in a new way. So, this is really powerful to equip them with the tools that they need to succeed. Step 3 is express. Now, when you express it, we express things in two big, profound ways to kids, either through our words or through our actions and what we model for them. So you want to be very careful of what comes out of here. What are you saying to them? Because the fact is, the unconscious mind can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, especially at that age. So if you say, don't do this, they're going to hear this part. Don't run around the house. They're going to be like, ooh, run around the house. Yes, please. I like that. Cha-ching. Okay. You want to focus on using words and framing it in a positive context. If they do something, are you going to be like, oh, that was wrong. That was bad. Why did you do that? Cancel, cancel, cancel that. No, oops, that didn't work out as planned. Let's find another way. Are you telling them when they're doing a great job and actually using your words? Are you reinforcing those things for them? The fact is, we all have different love languages, and some of us speak our words. Some of us need to see that gratitude and that praise expressed. And so we really want to make sure to use our words as one form of expressing to the kids that they're doing a great job, because you don't know which word you say or which phrase you say on which day that's going to stay with them for the rest of their life. If you think back to your childhood, I'm sure there's a teacher or a mentor or a conversation you had somewhere along the line that just left a huge impact on you. And you probably go back to that and you could remember it like it was yesterday. That's the power of words. When they say something, or when someone says something and it keeps replaying in your mind, that is a powerful, powerful experience. So use your words very, very wisely. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want, especially coming out of your mouth. And then the modeling aspect of expressing is, what are you actually modeling? What are you showing them through your body language, through your actions? Is it confident? Are you, when things go wrong, are you responding or are you reacting? Are you seeking solutions, or are you just getting down and giving up hope? Do you have your own goals and dreams, and are they a part of them? Do you share them with your kids? Do you involve them in your goals and dreams, or even maybe show them bits and pieces of them? So you really want to model the best for them in every single aspect. Now, we've covered a lot today, and ultimately it boils down to really, really three simple things. So, encouraging your kids. So, to empower your kids, encourage your kids, equip them with the right tools, strategies, and examples, and express what it is that you want them to know, that you want them to live, and that you want them to experience. Ultimately, it really does boil down to you taking the responsibility for yourself and deciding to be the best and absolute most brightest shining example and cheerleader for your kids. And if you want to do that, if you are ready to step up and create a limitless vision where you can have a vision that propels you to your most rich and fulfilling life, where you can start pulling out goals that are juicy and that light you up like a Christmas tree. If you're really ready for your next level of success, I would love to invite you to join me in my Vision Expansion Workshop. So, this workshop is truly, truly special. You're going to learn a step by step strategy that you can use over and over again for the rest of your life to elevate your vision for the future and elevate that vision so it aligns with your most rich and fulfilling life and business that you desire. It's going to have world class professional guidance, right? I've studied with the best of the best all over the world, and I'm going to bring the best right to you. It's going to be with a community of like minded people, and you are going to walk away with your vision completed in hand. And the best part is it's absolutely free. There's no charge for it. So if you are interested in attending this workshop, then I would love to have you there. There is a link in the chats. Some of the chats in our stream have links. If not, they will be there very shortly after we finish this talk. So you can also register at the link in our bio. So make sure to join us. Our first workshop is coming up September 25th from 10 till 1:30, so Eastern time. You can register online. If you'd like to attend in October, then send us a message and we will get you on the wait list. And registration will be open for that very, very soon. But we would love to invite you to really let yourself be at your best. So you're not only great in your life, but you can set a beautiful, shining example for your kids. I know that when I was at that party, it was one of the most epic and special experiences of my life. I've had some incredible experiences, but I've never been able to truly collaborate. And I actually felt like I was collaborating with my son on on a project that was not just for us, but an opportunity to create a beautiful experience for other people. And it was just such a magical opportunity for me. And I love watching his eyes light up with that joy from that event, even to this day. When my husband and I were motivated to teach our son these simple basics, they were not complicated. They were things like decision, creativity, confidence, communication, peak experiences, a love for reading and learning, how money works. We'll talk about how we do that for him another day. Goal setting, goal achievement, and so much more. But these are the basics in life, and I don't believe that the school system is equipped to really accurately and adequately teach these skills to our kids. I would love to see more of this type of leadership and these types of thoughts go there, because that would lead to so much more joy in parents and kids and families and this world. And I remember when I was uncomfortable not knowing how to dream, it took a while, but I learned how to do it. And even to this day, I am so blessed because these days my mind is so creative and it just goes off in so many different directions because I learned to dream. And one of those ways is through the process I'm going to teach at the Vision Expansion Workshop. And I learned how to dream so well that I'm even teaching it. So even if something isn't natural to you, it is possible. And even if you're uncomfortable, you can get to the state of joy and lighting yourself up each and every day. So remember, encourage, equip, and express that true empowerment to your kids. And join me in the Vision Expansion Workshop on September 25th and check that link for future dates that are coming very, very soon. We'd love to have you. And I will see you guys again next week with another Lunch and Learn. Bye for now.